In this video, we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing rational expressions. So let's start by multiplying two fractions. First thing I want to do is I want to divide out common factors, which a 3 and a 3 here. I can divide out a common factor of 2 here and here, and then just multiply across. 1 on the top, 2 on the bottom. I can do something similar with the rational expressions also. Let's divide out common factors. And now multiply across. Remember, I cannot divide out the x's. I cannot divide out common terms, but I can divide out common factors. Okay, so to multiply rational expressions, you should factor each rational expression completely, divide out all common factors, and then multiply across. Okay, so let's multiply and simplify the rational expression. You should pause the video right now to see if you can factor each numerator and each denominator. Here's what I get when you factor. Okay, so let's divide out common factors. The x plus 4's can divide out. X plus 1 and 1 plus x are the same. Now remember, 1 minus x and x minus 1, they are opposites, so one of them will divide out to be a negative 1, while the other one will be divided out to be a positive 1. So multiply across, and you get this. Okay, now let's talk about dividing fractions. Okay? If you recall, with dividing fractions, you need to change it to a multiplication problem, and then we take the reciprocal of the second fraction. Now, similarly to what we did in the very first example, I'm going to divide out common factors first. I can divide out a common factor of 7. I can divide out a common factor of 2. And now I can multiply across. Well, I can do the same thing with rational expressions. So I'm going to change this to a multiplication problem now. So now I can divide out the common factors. X plus 7's, x plus 5's, x plus 3's, and x plus 4's. Oh, that's nice. In this particular case, I get an answer of 1. Okay, so to divide rational expressions, we want to change the division sign to a multiplication sign and take the reciprocal of the second rational expression, factor each rational expression completely, divide out all common factors, and then multiply across. Okay, let's take a look at the first example then. So the first thing I'm going to do is to change this to a multiplication problem now. So now I'm going to factor completely. This should be a time for you to pause the video to see if you can factor each part of the rational expression. Here's what I have now. Okay, so now I want to divide out common factors. 2x minus 3, 2x plus 3, and x plus 2. So that leaves me with x divided by x minus 12. Remember, I cannot divide out these x's. Okay, let's take a look at the next example then. So again, I want to change this to a multiplication problem. So when I do that, I get this. Okay, now we need to factor each rational expression completely. So pause the video to see if you can factor each particular part now. This is what I get. Okay, so now let's divide out the common factors. So 2x plus y and y plus 2x are the same factors. We have x plus 2y and x plus 2y. Y minus 2x and 2x minus y are opposites of each other, so one of them is going to be negative 1, the other one's going to be positive 1. So I have x plus y on the top, and I have negative, and then in parentheses, x minus y. Now, if you want to distribute the negative, That would be this. Now again, these are not opposites of each other, so this answer is not -1. The factors are not the same, so it's not going to be a +1 either.